Alright, welcome back to the next video in the series here. We're going to be looking at our elevation, our elevation um, drawings. So what we want to do firstly is just make a copy of this, our floor plan, because we want to use our floor plan. I'm going to put it up here. Put another one right there like so. Okay. Um, this side doesn't have any windows. Okay. So let me just delete these dimensions. Usually I would just turn them off, copy it first, and then all of that. Okay, so if you're going to do elevations, you will need to have a floor plan first. It's easier to just pull down the measurements. Otherwise, you will need to do a lot of calculations and draw it manually. Okay, so first things first, what you want to do, what's this? Oh boy. Okay, so first things first, what we want to do is draw our baseline. Okay, so let me use the wall layer. I'm going to draw a baseline like so, run it across both elevations. I'm going to draw the front of the house, and I'm also going to draw the side. So I'm going to do this side. Excuse me. All right. So I'm gonna just rotate this 90 degrees like so. All right. All right. So what we want to do is establish our heights. And this is going to help us. This is an easy way. It's going to help us immensely in doing our elevation drawing. So learn this. If you're not familiar with the elevation drawing, learn this method. So this is my baseline. All right. This is going to be like the ground, okay, of the ground line of outside of the house, the dirt. All right. And then we want to show a step up from that, because you don't build your house level with the ground outside. If rain comes, water rushes right into your house. So let's have a step up of maybe a foot and a half. So let's say 450 millimeters, a foot and a half, and then we do that. All right, boom. So next up, what we want to have is so this is now the floor of our house, right? With that, we're walking around on the inside of the house. So from this floor to the top of our walls, we can have 10 feet. CSEC might give you the measurement. They might tell you from the floor to the top of the ring beam, or from the floor to the top of the wall. Whatever they call it, that's the top of your wall. Okay? Ring beam or the top of your wall, that's the measurement. If they give you that measurement, use it. Otherwise, this is what I want you to do. Use let's forget about the top of the wall technically for now, and put in the measurement for where your fascia board is going to go. Okay. This is what we call the eave line. We'll come back and fill in the other details after. So the eave or the overhang, um that's the line I want us to draw now. So let's put that 9 feet above the floor of our house, not the ground line of our ground of our floor for the building. So you can whip out the calculator. 9 feet multiplied by 300, and that's 2,700 millimeters. So we're gonna offset 2,700 meters like so. That is going to be where our overhang, our eave, the bottom of our eave is. All right, the overhang, the fascia board. And then we want to have the top of our roof. Now CSEC might give you this measurement, the top of the ridge board, or if not, you put it in. We're going to use a distance of 5 feet. So 5 feet It's 1500 millimeters. Okay, yes, 1500 millimeters, but just so you know, 5 multiplied by 300 to multiply to turn feet into millimeters. Alright, so 1500 millimeters. We're going to offset this line 1500 millimeters. So this is our ground line. This is the floor of our house. This is where the the fascia board, the bottom of the fascia board begins, and this is going to be the top of our roof, the top of the ridge. Okay. Inside here is where we're going to put in the windows and door heights and all this kind of stuff. CXC would give you that also. But for now, let us focus on just pulling down some projection lines from our building above. So we have this one. Let's pull this down. Make sure it's straight, like so. And then I'm just going to make some copies of this line. Alright, so this is our overhang. This is the inside. That's where our door is. That's where our other door. That's where the door ends. And that's the other wall. And that's our roof overhang ending right there. And then right here and here is where we're gonna have our roof. So these two lines, sorry, these two lines, I'm just gonna actually shorten them. Is where our roof is going to bend, where we're gonna have the um, the hip rafter coming down here. All right. So this is our overhang. This is our overhang. So what we want to do now is we want to put the roof above this. So we're going to offset the height of the fascia board, which is CXC might give you it. Fascia board is might be using 8-inch, 8 by 2, no, 2 by 8, 2 by 6. We're gonna use 8 inches, so that's gonna be 200 millimeters. So I'm gonna offset 200 millimeters upwards for this line. Remember, this is my fascia board, our overhang line. All right, and then we can right away we can start to clean this up. So all of that, clean that up. I'm not going to do it on this side because it's going to mess with these lines that we need. All right. Yeah. And then from the top of the fascia board to where the roof, right, from the top of the fascia board to where the roof, um, the hip is supposed to begin, we just connect those lines. Okay. We're not dealing with any angles or anything like that. We just establish the heights and then we join them up. So again, ground line, the floor of our house. Then we establish the ridge, not the ridge, sorry, the fascia board, the bottom of the fascia board height, which we call the eave line. And I put that 9 feet off the ground, and then I offset the thickness of the fascia board, which is in this case 200 millimeters, 8 inches, and then I just simply connect the top of that to where the rafter, the hip of the roof line comes down. All right. Now I'm really not feeling well, so bear with me. I understand your exam in a few days, so okay. So what line is this? This is for the door. All right. So this line, now that we have this, I can delete these. We don't need them anymore. All right. Um, and we can also delete. Well, let's trim them away. We can also trim away this line because these are the eaves. We don't need all these lines. Okay. We don't need this. All we need is that little piece here. So I'm just going to trim away everything else. All right. So now we can also trim away the walls, um, like here and here. I mean, once I trim this, I can just delete this. Okay. Okay. So this is where the front door is gonna go. So I don't need all the hair. I'm gonna just trim this away. Um, the front door gonna fit right in between here. Um, and I'm just going to run a line from the center, just so we know exactly where this line, where the door is gonna go. So what we need to do now is offset the height for the lintel height, or the height of where the top of our doors and windows are going to be. So CSEC will tell you, or the door height is 2000 millimeters or 2100 millimeters or whatever the case is. Let's say it's 2000 millimeters. CSEC says the door height is. We're gonna offset this line 2000 millimeters, like so. So that's the height of where our windows and doors are going to be. Alright, so the top of our door is here, top of our window is here. If there's a window, is there a window on this side? No, there's not. But there might be a window in the other one, so we'll need that same line. That's fine. Alright. Alright, so it's just a matter now to putting in the doors, the double door right here. So let's go to the design center. um let's go to the, let's see, house design, I guess. And I want to use the fancy door. Yeah, let me use the fancy door. No, you don't have to use the fancy door. And the reason is especially is because this door is a little complicated because of all of the different, stuff in it. But what you can do, we can measure what this door is and resize it. So let's just set the distance, type the shortcut for distance, measure the height. It is 2134, and the distance we put is 2000. So it's 134 millimeters higher than what our space allows. Okay, so what we're gonna do, um, rather than changing the scale so that it fits the height, I'm going to change the scale so that it fits the width. Because of all of these details inside here, I'm going to have to stretch this door, as you know. So when I stretch it, it's going to mess with all of this start this. So when I stretch it, I can stretch the height, and I can stretch just the bottom piece, and it wouldn't mess with this. But the width, you have to stretch this piece in the middle. So that's why I want to, let's see if it will fit the width. So let's measure in here. That's 900. Let's see what this width is. 914. So what we're gonna do is resize this door. So we can scale, select the object, enter, select a base point. Now I'm gonna use a reference to resize it. So it says to specify the reference length. We know the length is 914. Hit 914 and hit enter, and now it want the new length. Our new length, we know the space is 900, so we're gonna type 900. So it makes the door little less wide. So now we can fit, see, 900. It could fit in that space, but the height of the door is probably still too right. It's still too high. It's 2101, and it wanted to be 2000. So what we'll do, we have the proper width, but not the proper height. What we'll do is explode it, right? And then we'll go to the stretch tool, select the bottom half of this door here, enter, and then we can make it longer, but we actually want to make it shorter. And remember, it's the height now of the door is 2101, but the height for the space is supposed to be 2000 millimeters flat. So that means it's a 101 millimeters too tall, too high. So what we're gonna do is just move the distance inwards to make it shorter, and then we're gonna type how much shorter we want it to be. 101. Hit enter, and then we notice it got a little smaller. Let's just double check. Always double check your work. All right. So let me just measure this. 2000 exact, and the width is 900. So now this is a double door, so I just want to mirror this like so. And don't delete the other thing. Highlight it. We're gonna move it. Select the corner, and then I'm gonna just place it right in there like so. Now I have my doors in place. I can remove the reference lines, the protection lines like so. Um, for the rafters, if this was galvanized, to represent galvanized, we would just put um, some lines across like this. Let me just make a copy of this like so, and then make a copy again of this one, enter, and just keep doing this. All right, so this tells so this tells us that this is galvanized. It's a little symbolism for galvanized. You'll put a few of them around the roof like so. If it's not galvanized and they said, oh, make it a shingle roof or something, you could just go to your hatch layer. And I would probably create a layer. I'm not going to do it now, waste time. I'll create a hatch layer for this and call it roof pattern or roof covering or something. And then I would look for something that resembles what I want. So I looking for maybe a certain pattern that resembles shingles or something, and then I would just put it inside of here. Otherwise, if it's galvanized, you just put your aluminum sheets, just put the symbolism that we just did there. Alright, there's no need to put in brickwork and all this kind of stuff for the building. It's considered with casted wall. I guess unless they tell you to do that, then you know what to do. Alright, so that's this one. So let me put back the galvanized thing. Over here now, we're gonna pull down some lines again. Starting with this end, and then I'm gonna make a copy of this. So copy that corner, then this window, that window, that. Anything else? Just one window. There's actually the center of the roof right there, so that's this one. I'm gonna just bring this back up to there, so that's where the roof is gonna go. So we already have, because we already drew these lines, we already have the eave line right here, so we can go right ahead and draw from the top of the eave line, the fascia board, and connect to the top of the ridge and bring it down to the other side. Alright, so that's it. That's our roof done right there. So we have this now. These are our walls. We already alright, so we can just trim away. Actually, yeah, we can just trim away Just get rid of all of this. Get rid of all these. Just get rid of this and this, and then we can just delete the bottom and the top. Alright. So these are our walls. Let's just trim away everything in here. Oh no, trim away these. Right. This is the top of our window. This is the top of our window. Now, let's say our window is 3 feet high, 4 feet high. What we can do, we can just offset this line coming downwards. So offset tool 4 feet, that's 1200 millimeters, like so, and then we come downwards like that. Now, I don't usually do my windows like this. I usually put the window sill line and I offset upwards, and that's the reason is because if you look at some houses, the height of the door, the lintel of the door and the lintel of the window are not the same height. Um, so this line is for the top of the door, and the reason is also the window usually starts about 3 feet off the floor, which is about 900 millimeters. So if I measure that, is this they're gonna give me 900 millimeters is 800. Now you might be fine with that. That's okay. If that's okay with you, fine. For me, it's not. So what you can leave it like this. That's fine. But what I would usually do is I would offset this line 900. So that's the bottom of my window, and then I would offset that line 1200 to give me the top of my window. Alright, so in here now is where my window is going to be placed, and now I'm just going to use the fillet tool, multiple, and then just get rid of all these lines, clean it up like that, so I can leave my window like that. I'll pull in a window from up there. Now this space is obviously different. This is going to be 900 by 1200. This window here on the other hand is 914 by 914. Okay, it's a square. So we need to obviously stretch this window to make it longer, and the width is a little too wide. So we're gonna scale it, use the reference, and the current length is 914. We want it to be 900. So now the window is resized to be 900 by 900, but remember, right, 900 by 900. But remember, this is 1200. So now what we're going to do is explode this so that we can stretch it. Select the bottom half of the window, select this piece. It's 900 already, so I'm going to pull it down a little bit, and I'm going to add on the rest. So 900 plus what is 1200? That's 300 more. Hit enter, and there we go. I'm not concerned about this being in the center, to be honest. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then I'm just going to move this, grab the end, snap it on right there, like so. Okay, and and then and I just want to clean this whole drawing up. So let me just use the trim tool, get rid of all of these extra lines, like so, like that, like that, and then I could just delete these ones above afterwards. So be careful, because when I trim away these lines, I accidentally trimmed away um, these lines over here also. So one way you can deal with this is just to draw a line cutting through there, and then um, trim it off like so, and then over here same thing. But yeah, then we can delete that. I'm not gonna delete the line, I'm gonna trim the line. um, right. um, yeah, and now I can just delete these up here and trim away these lines like so. Alright, so I mean it's a very simple drawing, very straightforward drawing. um, so there we go, there we have our two elevations. Let me just move these. Okay, now once we've done this, we really don't need this up here anymore. We can go and delete that. But CXE might ask you to put dimensions and all of that. If you ask you to do that, then you could put in some dimensions to show, the height of the door and all of that. But we don't usually put the dimensions. At least there are plans that I've seen where the dimensions are not included in the elevation drawings. Right? Um, but we'll definitely put dimensions if it's a sectional. We want to see the height and everything. But if they ask for dimensions, let's put in some dimensions to show what the height of the door is, um, maybe, how high this is, um, the eave height, the fascia board, how high is the roof, etc. But yeah, stuff like that. Maybe the height, how high the door is, if there's a window, show that also. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Then underneath it, just make sure you put your title. Okay. Um, so we'll call this south elevation. That's south elevation. This one I believe was the west elevation. Alright, so we'll call this west, west, west. Alright, so that's that. What's this? Alright, so yeah, and the next thing is I would do is the final drawing I would do is the sectional, um, which is one of the most complicated ones. Not really, but yes, in terms of the amount of details that you have to put in. Um, but yeah, so just remember when you're doing the elevation drawing, this method, you want to put your ground line, then you put your the floor of the house, right? And then you're gonna put offset the height of the bottom of your fascia board, and then from that line offset 5 feet upwards, right? So this line, this I believe this step up was 450. I use, you could use 300, 1 foot, or you could use 2 feet, whatever. Maybe you have steps going up to your house, fine. Then the distance here, you want to put, use 9 feet, and then distance from here to the top of my ridge is 5 feet. Alright, so that's it for this drawing. Practice doing this a few times, get accustomed to it. See you in the next video.